All right, welcome into another episode of Nightmare.Explorers the Other Side. Today I welcome in Josh Hurd, the curator of Malvern Manor. Welcome in, Josh. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me.
Yes, you're welcome. So, do you want to start us out with a little bit about yourself and your beginnings in the paranormal?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I guess I'm like you said, like curator of Malvern Manor, kind of the chief cook and bottle washer over there and just kind of show people around, um, check people in, all that fun jazz. But it's like I'm also like an author and filmmaker and all of this other stuff. And like I've always had like a fascination with the paranormal, like always. And I was always like that weird kid in school. Um, like I was reading those, scary stories to tell in the dark
Okay.
books. The rest of my friends are like reading Berenstain Bears and weird crap like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I've
Yeah,
just always been drawn to the weird stuff. Um, I think a lot of us are, and it wasn't until I was around like, I mean, probably 11, 12, that I had like my first like real paranormal experience. It was surrounding the death of an uncle of mine. And there was really weird things that happened, like, kind of surrounding his death. But that's what like really started me down this path. And I started just like asking the bigger questions, I suppose, where it was like, oh, why would this be happening? I know that there's now something that's bigger than us that's kind of pulling the strings here that we're not quite privy to.
yeah.
Um, and so from that point on, I mean, I started diving into some really weird stuff. Um, Parapsychological research studies. I mean, the works of like Ed and Lorraine Warren, Hans Holzer, all of this stuff that I could get my hands on, especially from like a library, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because we didn't have the internet really back then. So
Yep.
I'm grabbing all of this stuff and I'm just ingesting as much information as I possibly can because I knew something was going on. Um, and so, I mean, it wasn't until like college that you meet like-minded individuals and you start, we started like hanging out and talking about weird things. And then it was like, oh, this TV show, Ghost Hunters, comes on. And it's like, holy crap, well, these guys are plumbers. Like
Yep.
you know what I'm saying? They're doing this at night. Why the hell can't we go to class during the day and go look for this weird crap at night? That's
Exactly.
exactly what we did, So from that point, I was hooked. I was absolutely hooked. So, and now I just haven't stopped, apparently.
So back in the college days, where did you guys go? Did you go to cemeteries, find old abandoned buildings, houses, or how
So,
did you go
yeah.
about it?
So, initially out of the gate, because, and I don't know how the hell we swung this, but it was pretty cool. Like, we got funding from the college. And of course, like
Oh,
with
nice.
funding and all of that stuff, you have to do, I mean, so many hours of like community service and so many hours of service around campus and all sorts of stuff. And so we were helping with things like all the time, in order to get this funding. And so we would buy like an overnight investigation at like the Villisca Axe Murder House or something like that, and we'd get to go on like one really good trip a year. Other than that, we would wait, because always at the beginning of the semester is around the Halloween time. And
Okay.
that's when like the newspapers are really starting to print stuff like, oh, this local place is supposedly haunted and blah, 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 just tis the season type crap. And that's when we would like start reaching out to these people who would own these buildings and allow us to go in. And then we put it out there that it's like, listen, this is what we do and we would love to investigate, I mean, your home, if you have,
Hmm.
an open mind to it, or if there's weird things that are happening or whatever. And so we would go and we would do a few residential cases. So it's like we would have like, I mean, maybe 5 or 6 real investigations in a year's time, really.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it wasn't much.
Yeah.
Um, but it was definitely enough to kind of get our feet wet, and then we could ask more questions, and then we could really kind of just dive into more of like strategy.
Yeah.
And it's like maybe we could do this differently next time or what have you. But yeah, it was fun.
So would you say like was Villisca like one of your first you went to, or was there?
Yeah, Velisca was certainly one of the first. Um, which was interesting. Like I was so jazzed for Velisca, right? Because it's like, oh, we finally get to go and investigate this place. And it was weird because um I had been looking forward to this for months, and I woke up that morning and I didn't feel well. It's like, when you're just your whole body just aches and you're
Yeah.
like, oh God, this is either like a cold or the flu or whatever, but I'm not feeling good. I ended up getting, we ended up going, but I took all of this medication. It's like just to try to kick it. And I ended up laying down on the couch that's in the main living room area of Malvern. I was like, you guys just go do your thing. I'm gonna lay right here. Just give me like an hour. And like, of course, I could hear what's going on upstairs, but I'm done. I drifted off, and I hear one of my buddies uh, coming down the stairs at some point, and I was feeling like this weird tickling sensation, like on the back of me, like I was just lying on my side. So on the side of me that was facing upward or whatever, I'm feeling like this tickle, and I'm like, who the hell is that? Like my buddies are assholes, you know what I'm saying? So like, who's
Yeah.
doing this? So I throw my arm over, like I'm gonna smack the crap out of him, right? And my arm just falls straight down and hits the side of the couch. I was like, what the hell? And this is when you hear the coming down the
Yeah.
stairs. It was my buddy Nate. He's like, dude, you got to come see this. Like we're rolling a ball back and forth with something that is just not there. I'm like, what? And then I was like, well, who the hell just tickled me? He goes, what the hell are you talking about? Come on. Like he was so jazzed about what was going on that he
Yeah.
wasn't even listening to me. And I that threw me for a loop. But that was kind of like my introduction into the house.
Okay.
And so that was a really cool place. Um, but yeah, I mean, like Velisca is interesting anyway, especially just from like a true crime perspective. I mean,
Oh,
it's
for sure.
crazy. But yeah.
Yeah, it's one location I haven't been to yet, but it'll happen.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's weird. That building. I mean, I have had like some of the craziest things happen inside of that place, but then I've also had nights where it's you could hear a mouse fart. Like there is nothing happening whatsoever.
Well,
Um,
I
so
think we've
yeah,
all had that experience.
exactly. I'm like, and that's pretty much true across the board, no matter where you go. So
You know, but like, with, your feeling when you went to that investigation, like for my very first investigation, it's like, you know, as I was like super excited for it, anticipating it for months. And then the day of, I'm just like, what am I doing? Why am I gonna go do this? I almost backed out an hour before. It was like with
yeah,
the friends team, I'm like,
yeah.
no, I'm gonna do it.
What am I
I have
doing?
to. And it's just like one of those moments where it's like when we left at like, what was it 2:30 in the morning? I'm like, when do I get to do this again? It's just like,
Yeah, you got the bug, man. You got bit by the bug. That's what
and
it is.
my first location was Edinburgh Manor.
Oh, that's a good one.
And
That's a good one.
it was kind of a quieter night, but there was stuff that happened. But it's just like, you know, for my first investigation, I had like, nothing really set on like what I want to happen.
Yeah, yeah. That is one of my favorite buildings. Also, is Edinburgh, just because it's freaking massive.
Yep.
Oh my god, that building is so cool. It is so cool.
Yeah, I've been there, what, 6 times now in two
Nice,
years.
nice. Yeah, you got the bug.
Oh, for sure. So, like, so after Velisca, what did you guys get yourselves into?
So like after Velisca and all that stuff, I had changed colleges. I mean, all sorts of fun stuff like that. I started another paranormal group at another university, which is in Northwest Missouri. And so I'm doing that. And again, around the holiday, around, the Halloween season, we started reading about this place. It was called Workman's Chapel. And it
Hmm.
was an old abandoned derelict looking structure that, I mean, it looks like an old barn basically. Single room, whatever, but I mean, it fallen into disuse back in the 50s. I mean, they haven't used it since. But apparently there was just a ton of stuff that was going on there, like just crazy stuff. Locals would go out there and they would just have odd experiences and blah blah blah. So we cruise out there, and I'm like, this place is cool. Like, you're hearing disembodied footsteps, you're hearing disembodied voices. I mean, some of the craziest stuff had happened, and we had gone 3 nights in a row, I remember, and it was just in a row going out there. And the first night, not a lot to write home about. Second night, really interesting stuff. The third night felt different. Going up to the structure and um like not being able to see into the structure, but it's a brightly lit night and you can see all the way around, but yet inside of this structure, which is very open, there's windows along each side, which of course don't contain glass any longer, so it's just the framing.
Okay.
You should easily be able to see things going on, but you can't see your hand in front of your face for whatever reason. And some of the most traumatic things happened during that. I mean, things that I've literally talked to therapists about. I mean, it took the work of a priest
Oh,
to
crazy.
rectify all of this stuff. Like, it was insane, and it that's what inspired me to write my first book, to make my first documentary film, which is all about that experience, about Workman's Chapel specifically. It's interesting now, like looking back at everything, because when we went to shoot A Brush with Evil, the very first documentary film that I've ever done, my very first ever, and night one of filming was supposed to open with just us investigating somewhere. We didn't know where that would be. Um, there's a really cool place. It's called the Classic Cafe. And the Classic Cafe sits in Malvern, Iowa. And they were kind enough to be like, bring your cameras. Like, there's some weird crap going on over here. Absolutely do it. Cool. So we go over there. There is a bar that is attached to the Classic Cafe, and it was a Friday night, and apparently a rough week for a lot of people because they were
Okay.
very loud. Like, so we couldn't investigate because of noise contamination
Yeah.
and all of that stuff. Um, so I go outside, and I was like smoking my angry cigarette because night one of filming is screwed, in my opinion.
Been there, done that.
Yep. And I'm like, this is filmmaking anyway. It's 90% troubleshooting. That's all you do. And so I'm like, okay, I'm out there, and this one guy is outside, and he was just sipping his cocktail, and he was like, "What's with all the cameras?" And I was like, "Oh boy." I'm like, he's gonna think I'm crazy. He's gonna think I'm off my rocker or whatever. But I'm going to tell him what I'm doing. And he was like, "Oh, that's really interesting." And he's like, I don't believe in that stuff. However, I mean, everybody has one of those moments, right?
Yep.
He's like, I've got this place, and this place used to be a hotel. It was a nursing home, and then it was a group home for like mentally handicapped people and all that stuff. I'm like, wow. And he's like, yeah. I mean, he's like, weird stuff happens in there all the time, all the time. He goes, again, I don't believe in this stuff, but I also can't explain it away either. And I was like, okay. I'm like, that's crazy. Tell me more. And he's like, well, I mean, the place is like 10,000 square feet. So the sound could be coming from anywhere. You know what I mean? It's really
Yeah.
hard because it's a big building. In my brain, I'm like, this sounds way too good to be true. And I was like, where is this place? He's like, just right there across the street. I was like, I'm pretty sure we just became best friends. Like, my God, man, like, that's crazy. So he was kind enough to let us in the building that night and saved night one of filming. But what's really interesting and fascinating now is that I look back at the first 10 minutes of A Brush with Evil, the documentary, and it's us literally walking into this building that we would one day then call Malvern Manor, because we had no idea. But that's literally our first time entering that building to
Nice.
investigate, to do anything. So I'm like, even that was documented. Thank God that was documented. But yeah, like just crazy, crazy stuff. And that's, I mean, and then I just haven't left the damn building alone, apparently. So
Yeah, so that you just answered my questions. I was gonna
yeah,
like ask how you got to Malvern Manor.
and
Well,
it's such a weird way too. Like it is such a weird thing. So, and I'll even go one further, right? So, like in looking for a location to open up a brush with evil with, right? That one location. I had kicked around going to the Sally House in Atchison, Kansas, right?
okay,
So I had reached out to who I thought were the owners of the Sally House, which would have been the Pickman family, because they're the ones you hear about. You hear
yeah,
about them and everything that happened to them. So I reached out to them very kindly, I will say. They said, thanks, but no thanks. Now, I will also say it wasn't their place to say no because they didn't own the building. They weren't living in the building, and anybody could have just gone in there to overnight investigate the place at a cost, right? So it wasn't really their place to say no, but I'm glad they did because, again, very respectfully, they said no. I very respectfully said thank you for your time. And that was that. That's when we
yeah,
found the Classic Cafe. But if it wasn't for Tony and Deb Pickman telling me no, Malvern Manor wouldn't exist.
interesting.
Like, think of it. You know what I mean? Like, Christ. Like, if they would have said, go ahead,
Yeah.
I would have had night one done. That building would probably be a fucking a parking lot at this point in time. I have no idea. But yeah, very interesting how things work sometimes.
Oh, definitely for sure. It was meant to be.
I think so. Honestly, I do.
And it's like for Malvern, it's like, I've talked to other teams that have been there, some have very active nights.
Yeah.
Some are saying
Yeah.
it's like super quiet and it's just like, it doesn't live up to the hype. So it's kind of like, you got, both sides of the story.
Of course. It's interesting to me too. So there's a lot of teams that'll ask, okay, well, what can we do? Like to really like amp up activity or whatever. I'm like, I don't know. Like, what are you talking about? What can you do? And they're like, well, what would foster the best results? I'm like, what would foster the best results is you walking into a room, sitting down and sitting there for an hour and you asking questions, not the show yourself, none of that bullshit.
Hmm.
Ask a question. How was your day? What did you do today? What are you doing tonight? What are you doing tomorrow? Just general questions that are conversational that you would have with any other person. And
Right.
if you can approach it from that point, things are definitely going to happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like I was going through some of my Edinburgh footage from like an investigation last summer, which I'm now just getting to. But like I was there for 2 nights and like 1 in the morning, I was the only person in the building. And it's like
Mm,
8:30 in the morning. I'm down in the cafeteria, just like, hey, are you guys down here enjoying breakfast? What's on the menu?
I
Is
love
it
that.
good? Is it not good?
Yep.
And like, I'm pretty sure, like, I heard at one point somebody say not good.
Not good.
So it's like,
The-
I'm sure food back in that day was,
yeah.
hit or miss.
Yep. Absolutely. But that is such a good question. Be like, are the eggs runny again? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like what's going on here? But yeah, like that's the good stuff. Um, and it's weird. Like I've had groups reach out to me that have like been, hey, can you come back? I'm like, what do you mean? And I'm like, is everything okay? They're like, oh yeah, everything's fine. Like we just maybe want you to give the building a pep talk. I go, well, how the hell do you do that? I'm like, listen, I'm like, if I knew exactly how to elicit a response from a ghost, I'd be a freaking billionaire probably. I
Right.
have no idea.
Yeah.
Like that's the beauty of the paranormal is we don't have a fucking clue what is going on, and that's what makes it fun because nobody's doing it right and nobody's doing it wrong.
Exactly.
So it's like I'm like there was this one group in particular that asked me to come back and give it a pep talk or whatever. And I was like, okay. And I'm like, just out of curiosity, like how long are you spending? Because I had just left like 45 minutes prior. And they're like, well, like we've been to every room. I'm like, okay, in 45 minutes, you've been to like 36 different rooms. That's interesting to me. You covered 10,000 square feet. in 45 minutes, give or take. I'm like,
Okay.
that's right. I'm like, so like if my math is mathing, you're not spending enough time in these rooms. Like I go spend an hour in a room, pick a room and spend an hour. Like pick the room that you're most drawn to, whatever room
Right.
you want to go to, and sit down and just exist. You know what I mean? Get to know them, let them get to know you, all of that.
Yeah.
That's when you're going to get the good stuff.
So like, I've haven't been to the property yet. So
Sure.
when we're there in October, it'll be my first time. But like, with your experience there, is it like, this isn't for, like a question for when we go, but it's like, do you go by more like intuition at times when investigating or equipment or kind of a mix of both?
So, me, I'm about as intuitive as a blade of grass, like just not at all. And so, most of the time, what I will do is I will walk around the building. And if I hear a weird thump, a disembodied voice, if I hear this, if I hear that, or whatever, that's where the general area that I'm going to start dropping equipment. And from there, it's just Q&A. Now, what's interesting about Malvern is the fact that it's got an ebb and flow to it for sure. It has like this really big peak for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then it's going to dip for 15 to 20.
Okay.
And it's going to flatline. And I mean flatline for 20 minutes. And then it's going to ramp again. What's funny about it is you're going to get really, really, really good stuff for about 15 to 20 minutes. Feel that flatline happen like real time. It's just going to happen. And then the fun part is now you have to kind of figure out if it's going to happen again or if you need to go and move your stuff to maybe a different area of the house. Like there could be weird shit popping off in the nursing home wing, but I'm up in the attic. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, and nothing's happening up there. Well, why is that? So it's more or less walking the location and just feeling it out, listening, and just seeing what happens really.
Okay.
um I will say this, I have done this before too, where I will just lay out equipment wherever, whatever goes off first, that's where I'm heading. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that's the direction I'm going. And so that's fun too sometimes. It's like
Yeah.
cat and mouse.
Yeah. So I kind of got a general lay of the building. God, I can't remember when it was, but I did a podcast with the team that was actually there investigating, and they kind
Oh,
of
that's
walked
cool.
me around a little bit.
That's
So it's like
cool.
know what it looks like on the inside.
Yeah.
And it was
Yeah.
kind of funny. This God, when was it? Oh, a year ago, I was out in Colorado, and there's
Mm.
this one YMCA of the Rockies out in the Winter Park area,
Oh,
and the
cool.
inside of this place, it gave me Malvern vibes. Like the hallways, it looked exactly the same. I'm like, I
Whoa.
feel like I'm in Malvern Manor.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's really, really cool.
All right, let's jump back. So back to the documentary. You kind of
Yeah.
talked about night one. What was night two like?
So night two was interesting because then it's like we started to get back into like the meat and potatoes of everything. Um, so that's when I could really start to dive into the story of what happened at like Workman's Chapel. And so for about 2 weeks of filming, night one, of course, like messing with them a little bit, but night two and all that throughout the entire thing, I was messing with them, messing with the cast, messing with the crew. I was really playing puppet master here, and I was dancing a very fine line between filmmaker and friend, if you know what I mean. Like it was crazy. But I also knew that they could handle it. I knew that ultimately they could handle it and it would be just fine. So when we finally got down to Workman's Chapel for the shoot down there, it was again very, very similar. We're going to set this up for 3 nights, but every night we're going to do different things of experimentation, isolation sessions, all of this stuff that we're going to do to really amp the fear level. Um, and I mean, we had basically I guess it was like a U-Haul truck, um, that we had setting off property that we were remotely watching and monitoring everything that was happening. So if we needed to haul behind, we could do that, and we can get in there and we could help in some way. But um man, it was very similar with like, oh, night one, okay, night two, yeah, much better, much more activity, all of this stuff. Night three was going to be different because we were also, that's when we were going to do the isolation sessions
Okay.
and all of that stuff, and to like really amp it up. Um, my ISO was okay. There was interesting things that happened, bumps, knocks, all of that stuff. Absolutely. My buddy Blake had it the worst. Like Blake was hearing a disembodied female for sure, which is, I'll get to that in a moment. But like he's hearing this disembodied female. I mean, he was very agitated, and I mean he was on edge to the point where he was just pissed. Like in fact, Blake has never shot on anything else with me since, so
Wow.
like he's just not into it. But it was an interesting time for sure. So the very first thing that we got, like on night one of filming, when we entered Malvern Manor, we're walking around and we're upstairs, and now what we call like the lovers rooms
Okay.
upstairs, right? And as we're in there, we hear this disembodied female voice, and it was just kind of a woo type thing. It wasn't anything like spectacular. um you couldn't make out anything that it was saying, but it was almost like it was trying to say something. um I mean, I've now been capturing that exact same voice numerous times since, in the same general area of the house, which is also interesting. But that was the also the exact same voice that we were getting inside of Workman's Chapel that night during Blake's isolation. Now it was significantly louder. It was almost like a scream. I mean, to the point Blake backpedaled, fell down. Like it was bad.
Crazy.
It was crazy for sure. But he was also probably one of the more jumpy as far as any of us were. I mean, we were all kind of scared, but I mean, Blake was really on edge with all of that stuff. But yeah, so it's an interesting thing to think back on. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, for
I,
sure.
I think like, everybody's had those moments. I like recall one investigation I was on at the haunted 1861 Masonic Lodge,
Oh yeah,
craziest Estes session of all time that, in the 2 years I've been doing this is like, it was unreal. It's like I was sitting at this table with my friend that was under, and like I was aware of what was going on,
yeah.
but I felt like I was in a trance the whole time. It's
It's
like I
so weird.
couldn't even move.
That is so weird to me. Like, isn't it interesting? Like what, like just like being a part of those sessions can do. You know, how it makes us feel physically, and how disorienting it is sometimes just to hear the of a radio or whatever. It's very interesting what it does to us physically.
And
um
like for me, I wasn't the one under, and it was like still affecting me.
exactly,
And then it
exactly.
affected his sister where she had to leave where,
Oh my
I
god.
can't remember if she, you know, was sick enough where she threw up or just kind of felt nauseous, but it like the three of us, it just hit us so hard.
Damn.
Yeah.
Did you all just kind of call it a night after that,
No, we just all went outside and
and just kind of, yeah,
took a break and a
just take a break? Yeah.
breather. And, we had a storm roll through after that, which intensified everything, but it was a crazy night.
See, that's interesting too. I mean, if there was a storm that was kind of coming in, now you can kind of wonder, was it just simply the ionization of the air? Like, I
Possibly.
mean, that would really amp it up. I mean, all these ghost stories begin with, it was a dark, stormy night type of thing. It's
Right.
like, but there's something scientifically to that, like for sure. It's
Yeah.
like that's why they start like that.
But I'm sure you're familiar with Grey Duck Paranormal.
Yeah, of course.
So it was with them. So if you go on the YouTube channel and watch that video,
Nice,
you'll
nice.
see what I'm talking about. And like that evening started out kind of crappy because the local bar across the street had a band outside. So like
Oh Jesus,
the
yeah.
first, to like 2 in the morning, the
Yep,
footage was all just shot.
yep, yep. And that's, oh my gosh. Yeah. See, it's nights like those that I would feel bad personally. Like I would feel bad because it's like, well, there's nothing you can do about that. And you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So that's when I would be like, all right, the next time you're here, it's on me type of deal. You know what I'm saying? Like pick a date on the calendar, it's yours type of deal. And
Yeah.
hope to Christ there's not a band that night. So,
But it's like that night was like so weird on every level. Like my camera, it's like the RR light would keep turning on and off, and there'd be times where it would just like randomly turn on and turn off. And
damn.
it's like I barely had any footage of myself I could use.
Yep.
But the weirdest thing I found out, so we did an abandonment, we put equipment and
Mm-hmm.
went to eat. I had a camera. I don't know if you've been there or not.
I have not.
So down in the basement, they have a crawl space that goes underneath the house. I just set my camera in there
Yeah.
and let it go. And this was before the band started, but you kept hearing this like, I don't know if you'd call it thumping or like some kind of humming noise or whatever coming from down there.
What the hell would that be?
I don't know. So I didn't, really think anything of it.
Yeah.
And then, so like my daughter, she investigates with me, and I was going through like footage of stuff that we did before we had a team.
Mm-hmm.
And one of our first times at the Boyd house, like when we were leaving that night, I was going through that footage and I hear the same thing at the Boyd house,
What?
which Jill Shelley, she owns both.
Uh-huh.
But it's just like, why am I hearing the same noise at the Boyd house that I did at the lodge, but I haven't heard it anywhere else?
It's interesting though.
So it's like
Like
now, kind
what?
of like what I want to do is like have people investigating the Boyd and the lodge at the same time and
Hell
kind of
yes.
see what
That
happens.
would be that would be really cool. We there's a really cool website and I think it's called time.is. And if you go to that website, it's like a synchronization type thing. So you could have very specific experiments going on at very specific times at like location A and location B, and you'd be able to kind of do that and not communicate with each other. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like don't know, just like okay, at exactly 10:05 p.m. according to time.s, this team and group location A is going to be doing this session in this room or what have you, while team B at location B or whatever is doing this in this room or whatever. And like
Yeah.
you can do that and run it until exactly 10:45 and hard stop, and just to see what happens,
Yeah.
I mean, to see if anything were to correlate,
Yeah.
asking maybe a question from location A to elicit a response from location B to see if
Right.
anything synced up there. Like that would be fun too.
So, speaking on that, like, the two locations.
Mm-hmm.
So, like for Malvern and Melissa, it's
Yeah,
like, I've heard, stories that those two locations are tied together.
potentially.
What are your thoughts on that?
Like it's an interesting thought. Um, that is absolutely, I mean, it's feasible. So back in the day, um, especially back in like 1912 when all of this happened in Villisca, um, Malvern Manor used to be the cottage hotel, and it was like
Hmm.
the place to be. So I mean, there was a restaurant on site, there was a doctor's office on site. They would have, I mean, every Sunday night dinner they would do, or Sunday night they would have Sunday night dinners for every member of the community. Um, there, it was a very multi-purpose structure, but it was also the pinnacle of the area. So people traveling from all over the place would stop and come and go and do whatever. It is rather feasible um, that whoever did the killings in Villisca may have potentially stayed a night or two before or after whatever in Malvern on their way. And I was talking to Hauser one day, and he was like, "Man, it's really feasible um, that whoever did this could have even just plotted the whole murder from right here inside of this building.
Yeah,
And I was like, Jesus, I'm like, that hits different, and you
right.
think about things like that. I'm like, good God, man. Um, so that was cool. Um, the trail, the train tracks specifically. I mean, you're talking 50 yards outside of our front door, and then you're talking another 100 yards outside the door of Velisca or whatever. I mean, it's all right there. It's all right there, and it's the same damn line. You know what I'm saying?
That's
So
interesting.
it's really cool. Like we have all these old maps and stuff that could show you exactly where it's going. So it's pretty interesting for sure.
Let's see, I just lost my train of thought for a second there.
Oh,
No pun intended, track, trains. So yeah, kind of going back to the beginning, what would you say was one of the biggest challenges in getting started in the paranormal?
um, I guess like one of the biggest challenges for me was now ultimately people are looking at you differently. People are looking at you like, oh, you're that ghost guy. I get that all the damn time. Especially from the regular people of Malvern, Iowa. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you're that ghost guy. It's like, yeah, I'm more than that too. But yeah, I'm that ghost guy. Whatever, I'll own that. Um, and so it's like the way that society kind of views what we do is interesting. Now they'll watch the shit out of shows like that on Travel Channel or what have you. They're
Yeah.
gonna watch those shows all freaking day long. When it comes to actually like having a conversation, I've noticed that it's different. People are a little um standoffish, you know what I mean? Which is fine, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, it is what it is, but it's very similar to like that first interaction that I ever had with that gentleman right outside of Classic Cafe. I don't believe in this stuff, but this one time, like that is every conversation I have. And that's what fascinates me the most is the fact that whether you believe it or not, like if it didn't happen to you personally, it happened to a really good friend or family member, somebody that you love, somebody that you trust. um, Everybody has a paranormal story.
Oh, for
Everybody.
sure.
And it's the coolest damn thing ever. Um, I think they've just kind of allowed the societal norms to dictate what they're supposed to think about it,
Yeah.
and that's fine and dandy too. And I'm but it's like there's a lot of that, and then there's a lot of the um there is a lot of the like the Christian population, for an example, that thinks what I'm doing is just strictly conjuring the devil, even though
Yeah.
I still go to church, you know what I mean, and all of that, and I fully believe that there is a God, there is a higher power, there is a grand architect of some sort that is pulling the strings here. Um, what exactly that is, I'm not quite sure. I mean, but call it God, call it whatever the hell you want. I don't care. I think as long as we have faith, that's all that really matters. We have faith
Yeah.
in something else, right? We ultimately know, especially us, we know something else happens after we're gone.
Oh, yeah.
This is not it. This is only the freaking beginning. In fact, it's like whatever the fuck this test is that we're going through right now, it is what it is. I think the good stuff is yet to come.
Yeah.
Um, and so it's the weird societal norms that I have found that are the weird things like that. You know what I mean? And then it's like once you're in the paranormal community, fuck, buckle up because it's nothing but fucking drama the entire time. It's like
Oh
get
my
the fuck
God.
over yourselves. Nobody gives a shit. And if
Right.
people would just understand that nobody gives a shit, like that's just it. Like nobody fucking cares. Nobody fucking cares.
Yeah.
And ultimately, we're all after the exact same goddamn thing. And it's one question. It's one question. What happens when we die? That's it.
Yeah.
And we're all after the exact same question. And it doesn't make a shit of difference who gets there first. But
Exactly.
let's just try to fucking get there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But for like, starting out, so I work in a middle school and I have, a ton of kids that are interested in the
Oh
paranormal.
yeah.
They're like asking me, you know, what are your experiences when you're investigating? can I investigate with you?
Oh yeah, sure.
Last summer I did have one student and her mom come with and investigate, and they
Hmm.
have their paranormal stories. But then I have like students like, hey, you should start a paranormal club because so I pitched the idea to the principal. We had a meeting
Hmm.
as well. If you're really serious about this, redo the pitch and come at me again, just because of like parents like
Yeah.
and religion and all that.
Yeah.
It's like he goes, I have to cover my ass. So like I came up with a really good pitch
Hmm.
and I still haven't gotten an answer yet. But he goes like 2, 3 years ago, he goes, I would have said yes in a heartbeat.
Oh,
And then
so
but
what happened?
now
What happened in 2 or 3 years then?
it just everything political and religion. That's what
Oh,
he's
I see. I
so.
see. Yeah.
But it's like so he goes, so what can we call this club that's not paranormal club so parents don't freak out? And like I think I came up with like folklore and history club or something.
Oh, that's interesting. I love that name.
And so it's like I had to give him like a whole bunch of reasons, like for sure, like tell them that I'm not going to be doing live seance and rituals and all that mumbo jumbo. I
No,
go,
no bloodletting
it's
or
like
anything like that.
I've been there 3 years, so he knows that's not how I am, but he just needs to make sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like I did something in a class where I presented one of my videos and talked about the paranormal and had students like answer reflective questions. And some of the answers they gave me, it's like, okay, this kid needs to come on an investigation with me. It's just like
Love that.
there's just so much interest. And it's
Hmm.
like, and
There
like,
was there is a group in Council Bluffs, Iowa, and it's run by this very sweet woman named Tara, and it is a paranormal group for middle school kids. And once a year they get to come, and they come to Malvern Manor, but they come with their parents and all that stuff. And there's pizza and food and cupcakes and all this fun stuff. But they also get to investigate and really test everything that they've been talking about the entire semester. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And it's always a blast. And I always give them the night for free. You know what I mean? Because I'm like,
nice.
hell yes, like absolutely. I wish I had something like that when
Oh,
I
for
was their
sure.
age. Like it was really cool.
And like going back to these parents, like, I'm sure not all of them, but some of them probably have watched a paranormal show. So it's, again, it's like, they've
Guaranteed.
watched it. It's just like
Guaranteed.
your kids are into it. It's like
Yeah.
it's a club. It's like an hour a week, and it's like
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
it's like for that, it's like guys, I was telling the principal, I go, it's teaching them stuff like communication, budget,
Yeah.
and like how to do videos because you know people don't realize that there's more to the paranormal than just going and investigating. You have to set stuff up,
Yeah.
travel, the money. There's so
The
much.
how much money we spend in batteries in a year is just laughable.
Oh God, right?
But yes, totally. My
But
God, now
yes,
now they're starting to make equipment that does the rechargeable stuff, which I love that.
yeah.
Like I just got a rechargeable REM pod. Thank God for
Oh,
those
nice.
things.
But then, like, going back to the other side of the paranormal, like the drama, it's like that's always going to be there.
Yeah,
At
probably.
some point in time, everybody's had to deal with it. I know I've had to deal with it. And it's just like,
It never stops.
it's like we're, as you said, we're all here for the same thing. And it's like, you may not, some person may not like how you're going about it. And then they spin it a whole different way,
Right.
make, the person they're targeting look like a complete idiot.
Yeah. I remember I was at a very public at a very public event, and I'm standing on stage with my friends like Richard Estep and Dustin Perry and all of these guys, and they had asked me specifically. Somebody in the audience asked me, "Well, what do you think about like?" And they specifically name dropped, like, "What do you think of Zach Baggins and like Ghost Adventures?" I'm like, "I've never met the dude." You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I know what you want me to say right now, but
Yeah.
I've never met the man. I can't speak to his character. I have no idea what he's like in real life. I don't
Oh,
know.
right.
And I was like, I tell you what though. I go, I will say this because I smell what you're stepping in. You know what I mean? Like, here's the deal. I'm like, there are paranormal investigators and there are paranormal entertainers, and
Yep.
there's room for both. I mean, like it or not, there's room for both. You know what I mean? And that's just it. Some people enjoy snorkeling, some people enjoy horseback riding. I'm not one of those dudes, so you're never going to see me snorkeling or horseback riding. Just
Yep.
like, if you don't like those shows, maybe just don't tune in. I don't know what to tell you. Like
And like
something.
my daughter, she's one of them. She doesn't like Zach. She's got
Okay,
reasons or whatever, but
absolutely.
it's like I told her, I go, if I ever had the opportunity to have him on my podcast, I do it.
You're going to take that.
It's
Yep, you're
like,
going to take
again,
that
it's like
opportunity.
I'm not gonna judge based on what other people say.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm very much like you in the fact that it's like I'll just form my own opinion. Like that's okay. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? That
he's
type
got
of
his
stuff.
ways of doing it, and they may be
Yeah.
out there, but that's how he does it.
And if that's how he does it, I mean, shit, it might be working, it might not. I don't know. I don't watch a lot of television. You know what I mean? I don't get to
Right.
watch a lot of television. Um, but yeah, so I don't know if it's working. Great. I mean, I don't
Yeah,
know how long they've been on the air, but it's been a long time, I
it
think.
has.
So,
They've been doing it. I've only been doing this 2 years. He's been doing it a lot longer, and
sure, sure.
it's working.
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty interesting though.
Um, where do I want to go next? Favorite piece of paranormal equipment?
Ooh. Um, I tell you, one of my favorites is that dead bell. Just because I'll set it, and I always, when I turn it on, I barely turn it on. I will turn it on just so it barely clicks on, um, because I don't want any false positives, and I don't want it to just go off randomly. But there's also times where I've forgotten that I have turned it on, and it will scare the shit out of me every single time. And so I always get a good chuckle out of that. I get a laugh at myself in my reactions sometimes. So that's
Yeah.
always fun. So that's like one of my favorites, not for anything paranormal, just for the jump scare factor of it. Um, those tripwires fascinate me.
No, for sure.
The those fascinate me. Using those is interesting because each one of those little nodes on that string is like its own EMF detector.
Yeah.
And I have seen it where it's gone like just down the row. And I had like a REM pod setting up at the end of it. And the REM pod triggered right after that. I'm like,
Oh, well,
now
nice.
that's interesting. Like that's interesting. Like it's almost as if you tracked the movement of a spirit, and then it ended at the REM pod where it tripped that and then probably went on its business too. But man, I'm like, that was impressive. Like, what the hell is that?
Right.
It's really cool. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's like that's fun stuff. But I mean, you're never going to beat like just a good old fashioned recorder and doing an
Hmm.
EVP session and things like that. Like that's the fun stuff too
Yeah.
for me. So,
Yeah. We have a dead bell, and
mm-hmm.
the thing is kind of already extinct. My daughter somehow broke it. I don't
Oh
know
man,
how, but I still give her a hard time about that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like the last time we were at Waverly this past June, up in the nurse's room in room 502 or 505, whatever
Sure.
it was going off for 15 minutes straight. It was just like
Whoa.
crazy. That's when it still
Whoa.
worked, but it's just like,
That's nuts.
yeah.
That's nuts.
It's like, okay, you can
Yeah,
stop
you can
with the
stop.
bell now. It's kind of
Yeah.
getting a little annoying. And then it would stop. And then about 30 seconds later, it would start up again. It's like, come on,
That's
really?
so
It's like,
funny.
I know you might like it, but come on. It's
It's like,
weird.
but this is really cool. We're having fun.
And then
Man.
also have a semi-broken REM pod.
Hmm.
So it was my nephew's back in August of 2024. We're at Edinburgh, and he was in the kids' room, and the antenna like snapped off.
Oh no.
And I'm like, he's like, I'm just gonna throw it away because
No.
obviously it doesn't work anymore. I'm like, I'm
I
gonna
bet it
take
does.
it. I'm gonna try to fix it. My idea of trying to fix the antenna was using super glue.
Yeah.
But so the glue kind of got the inside and then it wouldn't
Yeah.
work anymore. But what's weird is it somewhat works now.
Hmm.
So if you can see over my shoulder by a lava lamp, we got a couple haunted dolls.
Oh yeah.
As soon as we got them, and like, my daughter and I were, talking to them and, just kind of doing some random stuff, all of a sudden the REM pod started working.
What the hell?
Yeah. But it only
Oh,
works when they're around.
what the hell?
Yeah.
Okay, that's really cool.
So it's kind of like their little paranormal toy.
That's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
I'm I gotta commend you and applaud you because I can't stand dolls, man. They freak me the hell out, dude.
And
They freak me out so much.
the one
Oh
that's
my,
in the green dress
yeah.
is actually not a music box like a paranormal equipment, but she has a music box
Shit.
built into her.
Like the wind up mechanism in the
Yeah.
back. Yeah.
And we've heard it go off like a dozen or so times,
I'm
just
telling you,
randomly.
that's really cool.
Yeah.
That is really freaking cool. They look older too. Like they're on those stands,
Yep.
like the where they hold at the waist.
Yeah.
They look older. That's cool.
And then another equipment. So I was going through an EVP session from again Edinburgh. 'Cause, I got so
Mm-hmm.
much footage from Edinburgh.
Heck yeah, dude.
But like I can't remember if I was in the laundry room or the dining room area. But so, I asked the questions, nothing out of the ordinary. But then listening back, like I would hear like faint knocks.
Oh,
And then like at one of them, like ask a question, all of a sudden you hear all this static. Like
what?
after each question for like there was three questions, I heard like static. I'm like, Where'd that come from?
Yeah,
It wasn't there before."
that's crazy. Huh. It makes you wonder what the hell that is then.
Right.
I don't know.
And like at first I'm like, well, it could be, the dehumidifier running, but then you think
Oh,
you would
sure.
heard it the first time when you were asking the question, but you
Yeah.
only hear it when you're listening back.
Yeah. I think you certainly would have heard it and
Yeah.
tagged it and all of that too. So
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Because those things can get quite loud, can't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But like the thing is, I was
that's
telling my
interesting.
friend Grady from Grey Duck, it's like, everybody has their different way of making their videos and putting them out there. Like for
Oh
me,
yeah.
I kind of like, you know, I put my videos out there as they happen. So like, yeah, I'll go through them and take out, you know, the stuff where there's nothing going on and it's quiet, but it's like I don't really do too much editing. I want them to be unique and it's like, happen as they happen for me, and then you can
Yeah.
determine what happened.
I'm with you on that in that respect or whatever. Like I have a YouTube channel, and I do the exact same thing as you. I'm like, well, here's the deal. I'm gonna start the cameras, you know, at the exact same time, do a clap track, and then I'm off and rolling. There's no cuts. There's nothing, you know what I mean? So it's like for about 45 solid minutes, you're gonna just see warts and all, like
Yep.
what's gonna happen because it adds a level of integrity to it. Like we're not trying to do jump cuts. We're not trying to do jump scares or anything like that.
Yeah.
We're not trying to do any of that stuff because we're not trying to bamboozle the observer.
Hmm.
We're trying to go about this as just I guess like effectively and professionally as we possibly can. And whatever happens happens. I mean, and that's kind of the fun stuff too because
Right.
it's like there's not stuff that happens every time. There's just
No.
not. There's
There's
just not.
like there was one location I went to. It's like we started investigating by 8 o'clock, and
Mm-hmm.
we determined by 10 o'clock it's just like we're done. two
We're just
hours.
done.
It's like let's
Yep.
go to bed. I'm bored because it
Yep.
was like couldn't do one floor because there was no roof, so it's like didn't feel like we're gonna
It's
be safe. You could fall through.
probably not safe. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then one floor had a bat in the hallway, and you couldn't really do anything. So
Because now it's
it
false
was
positives and all
it
sorts of
was
stuff.
just kind of like one of those locations where it's like, yep, we can't really do anything here, and let's call it
Yeah.
night.
It's, yeah, it's probably for the best. I mean, there's so many times, and this irks me every time, but at the same time, I just kind of have to again laugh at myself that I will set up, I will get everything ready to roll, I will shoot for 45 minutes, and I mean literally nothing happens. And I will just take all that footage and I'll just delete it. I'll just
Yep.
delete it. I'll try again the next day, or I'll try again the next day. It's like I have 2 weeks that transpire in between every episode or whatever that I drop on YouTube. So I have plenty of time. The editing process for me doesn't take that long. It really doesn't. You know what I mean? Like it's just
Yeah.
this is what happened. You know what I mean? Um, and so I have enough time to try again the next day and hope something else pops off, you know? But
Yep.
yeah, it's crazy.
And then like this last summer, I had a big road trip we went on. We had friends go with and my team and all that. And just, paranormal drama stuff happens. So there's a lot of that footage from those investigations that it's like I don't want to use
I
because
don't
it
blame
has
you.
people I'm no longer associated with. So it's
I
kind
don't
of
blame
like
you.
it's
Yeah.
like, it sucks because we had a lot of great content, but
Mm-hmm. Sure.
it is what it is.
Yeah, I get that too. Like I had about 4 episodes that I just dumped because I mean, it has like my ex-wife in there. You know what I mean? And it's like I'm just not gonna do that. I don't, you know, I'm not gonna do that to her. I'm not gonna do, whatever. Like it's
Yeah.
just no. And I'm never gonna say a bad word about her. You know what I mean? It's nothing like that. It's just I don't feel it's right.
Yeah.
And so I just don't. So it's that's kind of the good thing about it. It's your video. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's your prerogative. It's whatever you want to do, whatever you
Yeah.
feel is correct to do.
Yeah. Um, so going back to, oh, my cat is going crazy.
I
So
love it. I love
no, she's fine.
it.
But so for like paranormal equipment, what are your take on the ghost hunting apps?
It's I don't know. I could go either way. You know what I mean? Like I have used them. Don't get me wrong. I have absolutely used them. Sometimes, sometimes it seems to be pertinent information that's coming through, things that correlate, right, with questions being asked. Other times it's just complete gobbledygook and nonsense, really.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, I also know that it's like using an app. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff that as a developer, you could probably put into an app, a timer, for an example, a whatever, you could do all of this stuff. So it's like it would be more believable. And I'm not saying they should do this or even could, I don't know. But if they were to share like the source coding that came with it, you know what I mean? And so inquiring minds that wanted to know could just know, they could just reference that material that maybe came with the app or what have you. And we would be able to see for ourselves exactly what makes this app tick,
Hmm.
you know? And I don't think it's necessarily a big ask, but I mean, on the majority of those apps, I do know that it's the disclaimer that it says like for entertainment purposes only, and I'm
Yeah.
like, well, that's a distraction too for me. Like that's kind of a deterrent for me. Well, I'm like, like I'm not just gonna believe, an app or
Yeah.
whatever. It's like, but yeah, I don't know. Like if you're getting it through like my portal device or something like that, that hits different. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? That's different. So, but yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. Because I think on my phone, just looking, I got what, six, I think maybe.
Yeah, I think I probably have it roughly about the same, like 4 or 5 or 6, somewhere in there.
Yeah, there might be a couple more, but for
I'm
sure I
looking
got
right now.
quite six. There's
I have exactly 6. That's exactly what I
so
have,
yeah,
brother.
I got seven.
There,
Maybe,
there is a good one that I found, and this has been years ago, and it was called like M2, like the letter M and then the number 2. But it comes with like all sorts of stuff. One of them was an EMF detector. I was like, Okay,
Okay.
how are we doing this on a phone, right?
Right.
And so I don't like, I've obviously tested and retested and just tried all this stuff. And so I'm using this app and I'm like, okay, so you can zero it out and you can check your baselines and all that stuff. And that's really cool and appreciated. And I was like, well, now I'm going to run the microwave and I'm going to see what happens here. You know what I mean? I'm really going to juice this up.
Yeah.
And it was dead on. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. But again, it's like, but what happens if I receive a text message while using this app? How is it going to behave then? Or
Yeah.
a phone call or what have you? You know, it's like, how would it behave in that respect?
Yep.
Um, but there's a really cool vibration sensor on there that works like a charm also. And so I'm like, sometimes that thing comes in clutch if you need it to, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
as a general rule, I just don't even use my phone like on any investigation. I'll just leave it wherever base camp is, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I try to
I don't
do
want to foul anything up me
right. I try to do
personally.
this same thing unless I know I'm going to use the apps.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
exactly.
it's like, because my daughter will normally have her phone
Mm-hmm.
with, so I'll just like, we only need really one.
Yeah. Yeah. I forget what the other app was that my friend Richard was using it. I'm not sure exactly, but I think he called it Seer, but
Okay. Yeah. I think I
it'll
have,
like show a picture. It'll like it's like forming a picture.
yeah, I
I'm
have
like,
that one in
that's
mind. Yeah,
interesting because
it
what
is.
he'll do is he'll turn off like location services, cell service, all of that stuff, and just let it run to see what happens. He's
Yeah.
got some really interesting things from that. In fact, things that seem to correlate. I'm like, well, that's interesting that we could be there. You know,
Yeah.
good lord.
But yeah, for like when we go out and investigate, normally for me, I'm the one behind the camera filming, and my daughter,
Hmm.
she kind of takes the lead on everything.
I love it.
And it's kind of funny. It's like we were at Post Town
Oh,
Elementary.
I love that place. Yeah,
That was so far, that's been like my all-time favorite investigation.
place is
So
so
much
cool.
happened there.
So cool.
I think as we were with a couple others from, one was from Ohio and the other's from Indiana. And so my daughter, she's only 12.
Hmm.
And they thought she was like 17 when they found out that she was only 12 and how seasoned of an investigator she is. They're just like, what the hell?
That's amazing.
But yeah, she's just like so into it. And like,
Yeah.
it's like, you're leading everything,
That is so cool. Now imagine what she's going to be like when she's 16 or 17 or 18.
right?
You know what I mean? Like, my God, like she could really be a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, because like again, being 12, you
Hmm.
every once in a while you'll see the 12-year-old come out on her when she's at an investigation, but
Of
it is
course.
what it is. But when she's actually investigating, it's like you'd have no idea.
That is so freaking cool. Dude, I love that. I
And
love
it's
that.
like, it's like, I like to ask people, I'm like, okay, what 12-year-old do you know that's investigated Waverly Hills twice?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, that's so cool.
And
You're
like,
raising her right, bro. You're raising
right,
her right. I
we've been
love
to
that.
Indiana State
Oh,
twice.
yeah.
Granted, that's we've only done it during the day because that's like the one location with her I'm not comfortable investigating overnight just because of how open it is.
Completely understood. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, she just goes in, you know, all cylinders firing, no fear, and it's just like,
Dude, that's so cool.
yeah.
I have a daughter who is 11, and you'll never catch her in a haunted location. You know what I'm saying? So it's the exact opposite.
Well, it's kind of
Oh,
like, in a couple hours, I'm actually at 5 o'clock, I'm doing another podcast
mm,
with junior investigators. So like, one of them's 11, another is 15.
wow.
So it's kind of like, I don't know if my daughter will be home for that or not, but it's like,
That's really
just trying
cool.
to, get their perspective.
Yeah, of course. I think it's really cool that I mean we're raising the next generation here
Yep.
of people that are going to come after us. Like this is really cool. These are the people that are going to be leading the field and asking the same questions we're asking, probably, but also coming about it in a different way with the technological advancements now that we're seeing just with AI.
Yep.
how could we deploy that in the field? I mean, shit, 30 years from now, what will that look like?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm currently writing a book about this very subject. I mean, not just AI specifically, but I mean more like, where is the field going? What direction are we going? Because we're
Yeah.
not seeing that many advancements lately. In the
No.
last 15 years, we haven't seen much. We have new devices that are still, it's like, okay, this is a really cool piece of equipment, but it's still just an EMF detector, right?
Yeah.
We're not seeing more. And it's like, okay, well, we have the SLS camera, the XLS camera, and they're all the exact same thing. And it's like, but what's past that? Like, what's a step
Yeah.
past that? Because now I've been using that for 8 years. You know what I mean? So now what? Um, and what comes next? And that's what fascinates me the most, is like kind of like a where are we going
Yeah.
type of
And then like, on
approach.
the flip side of things too, like, what's the paranormal field going to look like in 30 years? Because
Mm-hmm.
like, in the last, what, 3, 4 months, like locations shuttering their doors from the paranormal. It's like,
I'm telling
what
you, bro.
locations will be gone in 30 years? It's like,
I it's a weird thing, but it's like I don't think people understand like how much money it really does take just to keep a structure
yeah,
alive, right? And it's like there is so much bureaucratic bullcrap. Like just I mean, just property taxes alone are enough to kill you. You know what I'm
hmm
saying? Like that's enough. So you hope. And then of course you got the mortgage payment on top of that. And then you gotta heat the place, cool the place, get water to the place. Like, I mean, all of it,
yeah,
there is so much stuff that goes into it. Um, that it's like, and it's sad to say, but they are, some are closing their doors because there's just no other choice, and it's certainly not the choice they would have made
right.
to shut the door, like for
It's like
sure.
one of those locations, like one of my bucket list locations, Sweet
Mhm.
Spring Sanatorium.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like the owner passed away, and now
yeah.
it's just kind of like in limbo. It's like, is it ever going to come back?
I hope so, man.
And it's like,
I hope so.
right? It's like, I want to get in there so bad.
Yeah.
And it's just like, come on. It's like, if I had, if I won a Powerball, I'd be like, hey, how much is it going to take me to buy this place?
Oh, you'd have more than enough.
Right?
Yeah, you'd be able to buy the structure, no problem.
Yeah.
That's my problem with like Malvern, is that my idea was to, I mean, the place is exactly the same as it was when I first walked in that night, that we talked about, that night one thing, like that was, it's the same building, it's the same thing. We haven't staged anything. It's important to me that you experience it the same way I did.
Yeah, for sure.
But where it gets tricky now is you have to keep the building in a state of suspended decay. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So you need to make the building as structurally sound as possible without touching the guts of
Yeah.
the place. And it still needs to look like a haunted house too.
Yeah.
So it needs to look derelict and run down, which it does. Malvern does. It looks like a pile of shit. But I'm telling you, it's that thing's going to be standing longer than I am. Like
Well,
that's for sure.
it's kind of like the same thing, Edinburgh. That's like a beautiful
Oh yeah.
building. And
Beautiful building.
you would never think what the inside looks like from seeing the outside.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
But I love how the fans in there like
Oh,
work
the
and the
draping, like
ceiling.
the, oh
Yeah, it's
man.
amazing.
Oh, it's just aesthetically so cool. Like it's so cool. I love
Right.
that place. I
And
love
it's
that
like
place.
one location is like, I can hope they can keep it open, is like Post Town, because that
Yeah.
place is
Yeah.
like in such bad shape. Like when we were there, a storm came through
Mm-hmm.
and there was like so much water pouring in, like the library was like flooded and you could hear
Oh
dripping down in the
no.
gym. So it's like, that's one place that like needs a lot of work to stay open, and hopefully it
Yeah.
can, because as you said, it's a great location.
It is. It is a great place. It's a lot of fun there.
And it's like, what I call it is for our elementary on crack, because it is so
Yes.
huge. It's like,
Yes.
I didn't expect it to be that big when we pulled up. I'm like, oh my
It
God.
just it just keeps going. Like it
Yeah.
just keeps going.
It's like I want to get back there, because
Mm-hmm.
when we were there, I don't think we did even half of the building in the time we were there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That place is so freaking
Partially to
cool
do with the
though.
rain, but yeah, it's
But
just like,
still. but still, I don't know. That place has always fascinated me though. It's a great place.
Yeah. So you can't answer Melbourne.
Okay.
What are your top three favorite locations that is not Melbourne?
Number one on my list, bar none, would be a really cool place that just opened like a year ago, but it's called Sleeper Mortuary. It's
Okay,
in
heard
Iola,
of it.
Kansas. One of the coolest places as far as like activity is concerned. Like the caliber of activity is insane. I was just there last week, caught a disembodied female voice on camera. I mean,
Nice,
it literally put me against the wall because I was so shocked that it actually happened. I was like, oh my God. Like I
nice.
was floored. Um, the disembodied footsteps, the just the everything, the interaction with equipment, which is also interesting because it almost seems as if they're just now understanding how to manipulate the equipment. Um, which is great because it's only going to build from there. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? But it's fun because we're still learning about it. We're still learning all of this stuff and uncovering different things, you know? So it's still new and fresh, but
yeah,
Sleeper Mortuary for sure, like number one. Uh, I will always have a soft spot for Velisca. You know what I mean? Like I will always have a soft spot for Velisca. Um, Hillview Manor in Pennsylvania. That is a great place to go too. That's another one of those big, interesting old buildings, you know?
yeah,
But yeah, those three probably for sure. But yeah, good stuff for sure.
yeah. I really wish I could get out the Hillview this year,
Hmm.
but we're like pretty well stacked.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm sure like, bookings just open for that, but I'm sure they're like fully booked already because
Oh, I
it's
bet
their
you're
100th
right.
anniversary year, and it's
Yeah,
just like,
it's a cool place, but I bet you're right. I bet that place is slammed.
right. Because like the 100th anniversary of it is, what was it, October 17th or 18th, which is
Mm,
right around my birthday. I'm like, oh, we should go out there and investigate it. But then just that time of year with school and the drive,
dude,
I'm like, oh,
it's
not
such
not this year.
it's such a busy time of year, bro. It is. It really is.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's crazy.
But yeah, once fall hits, it's like basically it's like either do something in Minnesota or
Mhm.
Iowa. That's it. That's
Yep.
as far as I can go.
Yep. Well, that's cool, man. I mean, I look forward to having you guys out in October. I
Yeah,
think
I
it'll be
can't wait.
fun. It'll be
And
fun.
it's gonna, so like, we're gonna be out there October 16th.
Hmm.
So it's basically my birthday investigation.
Hell yeah.
And I got um a person I just met, did a podcast with her last week. I'm not for sure if you're familiar with Solo Paranormal.
I just saw a comment from her on somewhere on Facebook, but yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
so her and one of her friends are joining my daughter and I, and she
Oh,
also
fun.
does cakes, and she goes, I might bring you a cake. I'm like, sweet.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. Oh, that'll be fun. That'll be fun.
Yep. So really looking forward to getting there. Probably be our last investigation of the year. So
Yeah. Everything kind of starts to wind down
yeah,
after that. Yeah,
which
I
is
totally get
fine
that.
because I think this year we probably got like 15 investigations lined up.
Yep. Yep. So I mean, you're going to be busy as hell anyway. So,
Yeah, our next investigation is actually the Sally House in
oh,
March.
fun.
Yeah.
That's really cool. That's in
Haven't,
March.
yep, haven't been there yet either.
That's cool. I bet you enjoy the place.
Yeah,
I bet
so
you enjoy it.
like out of all the investigations that we have coming up this year, the only ones that my daughter has been to is Edinburgh.
Oh, sure.
And
Yeah.
then the only two I've been to are Edinburgh and the Masonic Lodge.
Hmm.
Otherwise, everything else is brand new to us.
That'll be so much fun. You guys are going to be doing all sorts of fun exploring.
Oh yeah. And then it's kind of crazy. Like I already have it like up here
Hmm.
what I want to do in 2027 and kind of like the dates and everything. So it's like, because you got to stay on top of that because as soon as bookings open, they go quick.
Well, I will say this too, like with Malvern, we never shut down bookings. So it's like if you wanted to book a date in 2029, you can. We will do
Okay.
that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if you had a date and you wanted to come back to Malvern or whatever, hit me up, bro. Like, let you know for sure. You know
Good
what
to
I'm
know
saying?
because yeah, like a lot of locations, it's like,
Yes.
they don't open till like October, November, December.
Yep. Yep.
Waverly, they do theirs at midnight on January 1st, which is like
Did I tell you, like,
that's an odd time, but
it is an odd time. And like we could do something like that. Like, and I'm just being completely honest with you. I don't want that many emails that fast. Like, feather those emails in. You know what I'm saying?
well,
And
like,
that's it.
Cindy at Edinburgh, when she opens hers up in October, it's like
Mm-hmm.
it takes probably like, it took me a month to hear back from her on the dates I wanted for
And
this
that's my
year.
point. Like,
It's
I
just
don't
like,
want people waiting 10 minutes to hear back from me. I want to get them on the calendar. I want to, it's like, here's your welcome packet. And that's what I want. I want to be
yeah,
quick. It's like, so the most people are going to wait is like a day at max. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
that's usually just because I'm traveling and
no, that's
driving and just
awesome.
not able to do anything. But I try to be kind of just on the spot with that stuff as much as I can be. But
Well,
yeah.
that's good to know because
Yeah.
Malvern is on the list for next year again, but
Cool.
so I'll have to once I get
Yeah.
everything sorted.
Yeah, and suss us out in October. You know what I'm saying? Like, let the building speak for itself. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Before you make a final decision on that. Yeah, just see what happens.
Yes. All right. Well, I actually don't think I have anything else. So if
Cool.
what I like to do at the end of the podcast is kind of give you a little chance to, shout out your socials where people can find you.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I mean, if people wanted to go to YouTube, I think it's just at Josh Hurd 1981, or you can just go to joshhurd.net. And that's kind of a one-stop shop for everything. And it'll take you to the Malvern page, it'll take you to my YouTube page, it'll take you to the films and the books and all the merch and all the crap. It's all
All
right
right.
there. So yeah,
All right.
that's about it.
Perfect. All
Awesome,
right.
brother.
Well, I thank you for taking some time out of your afternoon and joining me today.
It was a lot of fun, man. I
Yes,
appreciate you having me
sure.
on.
All right. And I will see you in October.
Sounds good, bro.
All
Take it
right.
easy.
Yep. Bye.
All right, bye.